This is Living Power with Dan Hurst.
Now I want you to note something. It's a reciprocal relationship. God knows the sheep, and the sheep know the shepherd. They know his voice. They know his touch. They know his compassion. They know his love. They know his discipline. And we experience that every day. Now I want to close with a theological issue. If you'll notice back in that passage in John chapter 10, he says this, verse 16, "And I have other sheep that are not of this fold. I must bring them also, and they will listen to my voice, so there will be one flock, one shepherd." This is an interesting passage of Scripture, and one that has caused quite a bit of debate. In fact, our Mormon friends believe that this passage was talking about the fact that the lost tribe was actually in America. And so that was what Jesus was referring to. And so this lost tribe, and then I can't even say the names of their lost tribes, but they believe that that's what Jesus was referring to. Well, they're wrong, because that's not what Jesus was talking about. And it's the idea. In fact, he goes on, he says, we're talking about developing one flock, one shepherd. It wasn't that there were all spread out, and that there would be groups of people in other planets and so forth and so on. And, that's not what Jesus is talking about. What he was talking about was that he was coming, and remember now, he's talking to the Pharisees, who consider themselves to be the shepherd of the sheep, of God's people, of Israel. And he was saying, there are other sheep, not just Israel. He was referring to the Gentiles. He was referring to the Gentiles who would be included into that flock of sheep, and there would be one shepherd. The Apostle Paul spent a lot of time talking about this. He spent a lot of time referring to how that there was one spirit and one body, and that we were all together, Gentiles and Jews. That division had been erased at the cross. That it was no longer a question of the Jews versus everybody else when it came to the Lord. And so that's what Jesus was talking about. He's saying, look, there are other sheep. There are Gentile sheep. And we're going to bring them together into one flock. And boy, let me tell you something. That drove the Pharisees nuts. What do you mean there are other sheep? Israel is the only sheep, but that's the kingdom right there. That's what God and Jesus was saying. No, it didn't. There are other sheep. And we're all going to be brought together into one flock and one shepherd. Drove them nuts. But anyway, I just love to needle the Pharisees. You know what? I think there are going to be some Pharisees in heaven. Well, I know Nicodemus is going to be in heaven. And there'll probably be some other Pharisees that got saved. And it's going to be so fun talking to them. And just go, man, you guys are squirrels. What in the world were you thinking? And you know what they'll say? Yeah, you Baptists had your points, didn't you? Yeah, We're all going to needle each other, I think. All right. Any questions, comments, criticisms, complaints? We have... we don't. We are out of time. Sorry. Got a question or comment, write it down and give it to Randy Shepard. All right. Next Sunday, we begin our Christmas series. Invite somebody to come back and study with you. It'll be a study on the Christmas shepherds. I think it'll be a blessing to you. Okay? Let's have a word of prayer.
On behalf of Dan Hurst and the Open Class, we want to thank you for watching. We hope it was a blessing.